As I was replying to your comment, I just realized this would take a long time to answer through comment form, so I decided to make a video. So the TDEE calculates two things. One, it's your BMR, and then it's your TDEE, well, your total daily energy expenditure. Your BMR is calculated the same way with either method, and that takes your age, your height, your gender, and your weight into account to calculate how much you need for your basal metabolic rate. Basically, how many calories you need to eat in order just to maintain the same weight that you're at without doing anything else. The next step depends on what method you use. If you use TDEE, then the next step would be to figure out what your activity level is per week and then apply the multiplier to that. Depending on your activity level, it'll give you a multiplier, and you multiply this to your BMR, which gives you your daily maintenance calories. Now, the reason I don't like this is because it asks you how many days a week you work out, not how many hours a week you work out. So if someone's working out, they have all the same exact parameters as before: age, weight, height, and sex. And let's say one of you works out, or let's say you both work out 3 times a week, right? But one person works out a total of, let's say, 2 hours per week, and the other person works out 6 hours per week. It's going to give you the same maintenance calories regardless of the hours you worked out. This is my biggest issue with the TDEE, is that it's just applying an umbrella multiplier when it could be a little more precise. That's why with the method I proposed is to figure out how many calories you're burning on a weekly basis and divide that by 7 and add that number of calories to your BMR, which will give you your exact maintenance calories to stay at that weight. If you've watched this far, thank you, but there's another step now. The video was about growing muscle, not about maintaining your weight. If you're trying to grow muscle but you're trying to do a lean bulk or main gaining, then this is the video for you. First, you find your maintenance calories, and you do this by using either the TDEE or you add your METs, which is your metabolic equivalents, which is whatever activity you're doing, you're going to burn a certain amount of calories, and you add that to your BMR. Once you find this, if you're using a TDEE calculator, it's going to tell you how many calories to eat if you want to bulk. But if you're using the other method, what you would want to add is another 250 calories on a daily basis. The reason I say 250 is because if you do 500 calories on a weekly basis, that's 3,500 calories, which equals 1 pound. So you don't want to try to gain too much because you might gain fat, and you want to gain around half a pound a week, which is healthy. Once you add this 250 to your maintenance calories and you start going up in weight, once you stop gaining weight, your body's gotten used to that weight, then you add another 250 to that. You keep doing this as long as you want until you're uncomfortable with your definition level. If you're losing definition and you're not as lean and you want to go back to going lean, then hey, switch it up and go back to maintenance, or you just do a deficit, which you can do anywhere between 500 to 250, depending on how quickly you want to get lean. But if you're trying to get lean, for the love of God, please keep your protein intake high, either 1 gram per pound or 1.2 grams per pound. The reason I give the METs plus BMR is because it's a lot more accurate and you will not have to do so much trial and error. You'll get your accurate calories you need a lot quicker than you would with your TDEE, because it still takes some trial and error. You have to weigh yourself every week and see if your calories are actually doing what you want them to do. If you're in a deficit, 1 to 2 pounds per week is okay, it's acceptable. If you're in maintenance, you shouldn't gain any weight. And if you're trying to bulk, about half a pound a week should be acceptable. That's what you're trying to hit. If you're losing more than 2 pounds a week on a deficit, you're probably losing some muscle too. And if you're gaining more than half a pound a week when you're bulking, you're probably adding some fat too. Sorry for the super long video, but I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.